Hi and welcome to 15 Minutes of Fame. I'm Geoffrey Driscoll. I write for anysportanytime.ca. With me as always is Jim Kerr, who writes for kerseysnotebook.blogspot.com. Let's get right into it, Kersey. We'll start with hockey, where Steven Stamkos has had a great start this year. They're projecting 151 points at the pace he's at. Obviously, I don't think he's going to get to 151 points.
Well, you're not a believer.
Well, exactly. But what do you think about the way he's working this year?
It's awesome.
Yeah, isn't it great?
Yeah. That's a lot of points for your first
third season, I think.
First 19 games.
Yeah, no kidding.
And you know, every game he's scoring the same kind of goals. He's got a rocket of a shot, and we're seeing it just constantly. It's beautiful.
Reminds me of Brett Hull. You know, I was reading a piece that was like he gets to the soft spots just like Brett Hull would, and then could just rocket it, right?
Yeah.
I love it. Those are great.
Down on one knee.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I mean, if we turn back the clock to a couple of seasons, remember Stamkos came into the league and he was just getting worked the first half of the season by media and fans. Yeah. You know, kind of the same way Taylor Hall is right now. Could we expect Hall's development to be anything like Steven Stamkos' development?
It very well could be, and I think the difference is that with Stamkos, they were saying, "Hey, she's not NHL ready. They should have sent him down, this and that." And he eventually finished the season with respectable numbers. It was over 20 goals and over 40 points.
Yeah.
And that, you know,
for a rookie season.
Yeah, you can't ask for much more from a rookie, but I think it's very likely that Taylor Hall could start to come along. We saw after the first couple of games, he was getting better and better, more chances on goal. Finally got his first goal, scored a couple more since then. He's getting assists, he's working hard, he's becoming more of a complete player every day.
Yeah.
And I think as the course of the season goes, we'll see. I would expect that we'll see more goals, we'll see more offensive output, and I think by the end of the year, we'll be happy with what we've got from him.
No, absolutely. One of the things that Stamkos did this year was, he got onto the Gary Roberts workout, which there were a couple of different players who were on that this year, and one of the things that they do is they just eat exactly everything that Gary Roberts puts out, and they watch everything on their meals and how they work out and that kind of thing, and it seems to be working out.
And the workout itself is fierce. It's so fierce that I was reading about it and I barked. Oh my god!
That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's showing in his play, you know.
And Downey was another. Steve Downey was another guy that was on that program, and even he's having a good season so far. And he's a more of a role player than Steve Stamkos is. But the Tampa Bay Lightning, been known to score 8 goals in a game.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
Against a pretty good Philadelphia team. But no, and I think Taylor Hall can look at this and say, well, the off season is obviously an important part.
It's becoming more and more.
Yeah. Gone are the days where you can show up to training camp 10 pounds overweight.
That's right.
But I think, Taylor Hall, he probably knows already that it's important to work hard in the off season. But when you see what a guy like Steve Stamkos is doing and has done, it's a good example to look at and say, oh, well, I think I know what I'm doing this summer.
Yeah, it's a great example to follow, and I think that's the way he needs to go.
So much for a holiday.
Yeah, exactly. No holidays anymore. You get maybe a week afterwards, and that's it.
That's right.
Moving on, I mean, we're going to stick with the NHL here, and the big story this week was, one of the big stories was that Colin Campbell, the NHL disciplinarian, some of his emails leaked in a court case, and there's a blog out of Edmonton, actually, called MC79, and the fellow is Tyler Dello. Fellow and Dello, Rhino.
Oh yeah, I see what you did there.
See how I did that?
Won't stop.
Tyler Dello, he's actually a lawyer out of Edmonton. He found them and went through them and figured out all the names were kind of redacted in there, but he figured out who everybody was talking about. And Colin Campbell comes out and says, one, he hates or doesn't think Mark Savard's a faker, and then also comes out and his son Gregory Campbell's playing right in the NHL, and there were calls against him that Colin Campbell would contact the referees specifically and say, why did you make that call? Yeah. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, but
can we get rid of blank?
Exactly. Can you believe that?
I can.
Yeah.
I can believe it, kind of, because it's like, your son and whatever, but at the same time, you don't really want that from your, one of the lead guys in the league. And to his defense, he came out and said, well, I'm a hockey dad, I get worked up just like the next guy. I don't deal specifically with incidents involving my son or his team.
Well, except for, obviously, he did. Like,
Yeah.
we were talking that, in the real world, every dad has a soft spot for their son playing out there, but never has that kind of direct access to the referees.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why it should be any different in the NHL. I mean, he says that somebody else takes the disciplinarian side when Gregor Campbell's involved, but obviously not, because he can email, Coley can email the people directly.
The ref that he emailed said, well, it doesn't go beyond that. It's just him venting, and that's. And as for the Mark Savard stuff, he said Savard's a faker, but he clarified that by saying he's a good guy to draw penalties. He said when you're the guy's coach, you call it drawing penalties. When you're the other coach, you call it something else.
Exactly.
He said he would never fake an injury, but he would,
Yeah.
One of these.
Exactly. Oh, blood, kind of
Yeah.
Oh, blood, weird. Yeah.
So I think in some ways it's blown up more than it is, but because of who he is, that's, it's obviously a problem, but the league's backed him. And
the league backed him right off
him.
the bat, too, all over the place. So
I honestly, and see, the thought was that he's got this opinion about Mark Savard. Matt Cook wasn't suspended for a dirty hit that he had been a carbon copy of a hit that he previously had been suspended for.
Yeah.
He didn't get suspended when it involved Mark Savard.
Weird.
So people made could possibly a bit of a stretch, but people made the assumption that, oh, well, that's why he didn't get suspended.
Because he doesn't like Mark Savard.
And
that's tough, though, if that's true. That's rough.
I don't think it is, just because, from what I've read in the aftermath and stuff, sometimes when this sort of thing happens, it opens the door to all this other stuff. We'll take Tiger Woods, for example. This one thing happened, then all of a sudden, boom, everything else. Nothing happened after this. No other refs came out and said, well, yeah, I had to do this because of this.
That's true, too.
So I think we'll leave it at that. But, he's got to watch what he does now, because maybe if some more stuff does happen, or maybe
everybody's
more
going to be
stuff
watching him a lot
up.
for the next little while, too, yeah.
Everyone knows he just spins the wheel of justice anyways.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And going in that theme, he did make 2 suspensions this week. I mean, Olli Jokinen, the Calgary Flame, and Matthias Ruotola from the Lightning. Campbell suspended them for a couple of games each for what they're doing. Do you think that was the right choice?
Yeah, Jokinen cross-checked a guy in the face from behind.
Yeah.
Well, came at him from behind and and Danny Briere was just suspended for that from Philadelphia, so there's precedent right there. And the Ruotola was a jumping elbow to the head from behind. So there's a few aspects of that are
a couple of things
against the rules.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought that was that jumping from behind. I was like, well, what was he thinking?
Yeah, what are you doing?
And he's all, I guess all these guys, after they make the hits, they turn around and they go, who, me? And like, no!
Off the second turnbuckle there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, moving on to the NFL this week and a little bit of last week. Is Michael Vick playing his way into the MVP conversation?
I would have to say,
yeah.
That last Monday night, he ran the show.
Yeah, that was
a great individual performance from him. A great. He led the team to a large point total. Yeah. Even in the first quarter alone.
Yeah.
And they kept their foot on the gas right to the end, and he's showing more and more that he's a durable quarterback.
Yeah.
He was injured, but that was when he got hit on either side of his shin.
Yeah.
And that was a tough one, but he can take a hit, he can make a run, he can throw darts into the end zone.
Well, right, the first play was, an 80-ish yard field or yard touchdown pass. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
What I really noticed about that game was he was getting out of the pocket a lot and scrambling and then making the play. And that was something that I was reading and had been looking at. He didn't do a lot of that in the past, and that's what he did in that game.
A lot of people are talking about the development of Michael Vick. He's, before he relied on just his athleticism, and now he understands the game a bit better, and maybe reads defenses better.
See, I like that.
And that type of thing. I guess the one knock on him for in terms of the MVP right now is that he hasn't played as much as some other guys. I think the other front runner is Phillip Rivers from San Diego. But we've still got another half of the season or so to go.
Oh,
so
for sure.
I think by the end of the season, if
he keeps playing anything
if
like
stays
this,
healthy,
there's that.
And I think that the key is that if he stays healthy, he will more than likely play the way he's playing.
Yeah.
I don't think the 6 games that he's played or whatever have been a fluke either way or whatever it is. But I think there's a good chance at the end of the season we'll see something, you know. And
he might be up there.
Roger Goodell says he's proud of him.
Oh, that's good.
Proud of his turnaround.
I like that.
Yeah.
Is staying with NFL news, Brett Favre, leaked or let go a little bit more that there's a possibility that
No. He said, I'm not coming back.
He said for sure.
They said, what? No. They said, will you be back in 2011? And he said, no.
Yeah, okay.
Now, will you be back in 2011? Okay.
That could mean a couple of things here, Jim.
With Minnesota.
Yeah, exactly. With the NFL.
In this very spot that we're in right now.
Right.
In this chair.
Exactly, yeah. He might have got rid of that chair right afterwards.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Exactly. When he's finally retired.
That damn Brett Favre.
Moving on to the NBA, is Chris Bosh finally finding his way in Miami with the Heat? He's had a couple of good games. He had that 35-point game the other day. You know, is this kind of what he's...
Well, I know he just wants to chill.
That's what he said, yeah.
But you know, now that means that Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James have all had 30-plus point games now. And I think to start the season, a lot of people were looking at Bosh and saying, okay, well, I can see Wade.
Yeah, because he's
fantastic. I can see LeBron James.
He can take over a game.
Winning MVP.
Yeah.
But what's this guy here for? Because there's other guys averaging the same amount of rebounds or more.
Making less.
And he's, you know, getting a decent amount of points.
Yeah.
Low tens sometimes.
Yeah.
But then he had a 35-point night. He's had a couple of 20s since then.
Yeah, well.
I
turning it around.
I think he needs to figure out what his role is going to be, and he has to be comfortable not being the guy who's taking all the shots. And I think he's even said it too. Like he said, I have to get used to, you know, the shots that I do get, I have to make them instead of, you know, having a little while to warm up because I'm going to get all these shots in a game. But I think his attitude might not be a big problem, but maybe, you know, when he's talking to the media, maybe don't say what you think.
Maybe tone it down a little bit.
Just rely on cliches like everyone else.
Giving it 110%.
110%,
that's the way to go.
A game.
Yeah.
It's a battle out there.
I think that's the way to go, you know?
I would love to see an interview where the interviewer goes, so, cliche. Well, you know, war cliche. Cliche about level of effort.
Level of effort's a good one.
Yeah. You know, cliche about just going out there and working hard, and another battle cliche, and it was a good win.
It was good, and then walk off, you know, wipe your brow and walk away.
There's actually a guy in the NHL, Marc-Andre Cliche.
Oh, yeah.
I bet he'd be
great at that.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to quick hits here. We got a story this week. If you read Kersey's blog at Kersey'sNotebook.blogspot. I got that. Got Kersey'sNotebook.blogspot.com.
There we go.
And this is great. I love this one. The Northwestern Wildcats are playing the Illinois Fighting Illini at Wrigley Field, and they only have one end zone. Only one, because there's not enough room. Yeah. Are they trying to save money on green fees, Jim?
I think so. Yeah. I didn't get a chance to watch the game, but I don't know. I heard they played shoulder pads in the middle.
Right.
And just...
Best way to play a college game. I love it.
I'd never heard anything like that before.
No.
But I guess you do what you gotta do.
Exactly. Tiger Woods has a Twitter account. You know who else has a Twitter account? We do.
We do.
At 15 Minutes YEG. Go check it out. And what's he got to talk about, Tiger Woods?
Not too much.
Running commentary.
The last one I saw was that he likes phone interviews because you get to wear shorts.
Good for him.
Or not wear shorts.
Or not wear shorts, exactly. How about your boy Datsuk laying out Dustin Penner the other day when Detroit played Edmonton?
50-pound difference there. That shows you don't have to be the biggest guy to lay a big hit.
Exactly. Well, there's our 15 minutes of fame are up for this week. Check us out next time when we get a whole new 15 minutes of fame. In the meantime, check out my blog at anysportanytime.ca and check out Kersey's blog at kerseysnotebook.blogspot.com. Got it right that time.
I got 2 plugs in
there one. There you go. Woo! I wanted to give you guys a heads up. We're doing a sports hot stove at the Beer Hunter Pub on the West End. Go to anysportanytime.ca to check out all the specs and everything. It's coming up this Saturday, so come on by. I'll be there, and you can...
What more do you need?
Exactly. So check it out on anysportanytime.ca. In the meantime, check out all our different stuff at 15 Minutes YAG on Twitter. Or,
Facebook, email, YouTube, it's all there.
It's all going to be on the bottom. Check it out, okay?